All right. Hi. I'm here today, January 13th, 2026, and I want to give a shout out to someone who has a birthday today. He was born in 1866, so he has since passed away from this earth. But his name was George Ivanovich Gurdjieff, and he was a very special man among human beings. He was someone who plunged the depths of spiritual knowledge, scientific knowledge, history, religion, and he brought what he found to others. He sort of embodied Zarathustra in Thus Spake Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche, where he went to the top of the mountain and he received what he had been looking for, and everything in him wanted to stay at the top of that mountain to have inner peace and serenity, but he came down because he wanted to give that message to others. He felt the call that he was needed to give that message to others. I discovered Gurdjieff through Jacob Needleman in the book Lost Christianity. There was something in that book that drew me in, and that was about 10 years ago. I read that book. And it slowly, little by little, over time, seeped into my being and would not leave. And I finally joined a group of Gurdjieff Foundation, and we meet in person. And today we're going to actually celebrate his birthday. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm a little nervous. I fail big time at practicing Gurdjieff's work, his principles. My attention is so fragmented throughout the day. You know, I have my 9 to 5 job that I come to, and I have my weekends where I quote unquote unwind and relax. And I'm supposed to be practicing what they call the work, which is self-observation. And the simplest exercise that we're given is the morning sitting exercise, which is 20 minutes of bringing your attention to the body, trying to relax and breathing regularly. That's all. And I fail. I'm apathetic. I let my consciousness be fragmented and choose to forget that I sort of signed a deal with myself that I would do this work. And I acknowledge that, but I don't acknowledge it at the same time. I go week after week, and the days, it's like, where did the days go? Where did my time go? And so there's a lot of self-forgetting. There's a lot of willingness to sleepwalk and allow circumstances and happenstance and accident to just direct my days and direct what happens. And most often I take the path of least resistance. And then I'll hear a voice that is akin to shame. You know, why aren't you doing the work? And I just go straight back to sleepwalking. And I'm grateful for days like today where I'll go and I'll sit with the folks at the foundation. Some of them have been a part of it for a long time. Some of them are senior citizens who have been with the Gurdjieff Foundation since their 20s. Some of them are in their 30s or 40s. But there will be that atmosphere there. There will be that thing that is not within us individually, but is there amongst us. And anyone who's been to a great family gathering knows what I mean. or a great conference or a great concert. Collective energy. And I have Mr. Gurdjieff to thank for that. He lived a life that really gave. He gave him of himself to the earth, to people. He did it in a funny way. Very eccentric man, misunderstood, but highly valued by those people who have entered the stream of his thought and have chosen to follow the funny rabbit trail. What does he say? I've buried the dog in Beelzebub, and those who want to find it will do the digging. So it's there. It's a challenge for me to be who I know that I want to be. I do believe in something sort of like a soul contract, that whether it's my daimon or soul, that it knows, not new in past tense, it's outside of time. It knows what it's capable of, and it chose my body and my parents to do that, whatever it is. And I most of the time fall into shutting that voice out, shutting that influence of that soul out, and choosing, a bag of potato chips and a soda and a video game. So today I want to commemorate the truth. I want to commemorate a person who reminds me to submit to truth, say the Our Father prayer with attention to it and honesty, to say Psalm 23 with a new way of reading it and understanding it and looking at it and how it really applies to my life, really to revitalize my entire Christian upbringing and looking at the words of the apostles and the words of Jesus Christ in a completely new light. The world really can come alive rather than being crystallized and taken for granted and sort of being behind this thick glass. And that part of me that wants to just coast along really gets full of himself too. It really gets full of himself. Like a little bit of praise from an elderly person I admire, or a little bit of praise from my boss, really just makes that guy who just wants to coast along in life and do the least amount of work, gives him that it's like good things become poison to that person who has no care, has zero care for me, zero care for the rest of the world, and really zero, just wants things to be nil. Let's just put it that way. It's very nothingness. It's like zoning out is the ultimate, like leave me alone so I can zone out. Leave me alone so I can sit here in my fantasy land. So I thank heavens for this whole world opening up to me, where I'm reminded and I know that I'm made for something more than that. that I put myself on this earth for something more than that. And it's not too late. It's never too late. So I'll keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it simple. Happy birthday, Mr. Gurdjieff. Wherever you are, thank you. All right? Good night, guys.